Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Community Channel. Back again with some Manchester United news, and I suppose, like the headline says, RANGNICK stays. So we're going to get into that. Plenty of other news to talk about today. Obviously, with the aftermath of the loss to Arsenal on the weekend, we'll talk about that too. We're going to talk transfers as well. Obviously, the main one being Frankie de Jong is being heavily linked with Manchester United in terms of a summer move. Also, other transfer rumours coming out today and last night about potentially Christian Eriksen coming to Manchester United. So we'll get into that as well. Plenty of other things to talk about. Like I said, if you can, smash a like on the video. We're going to be making more videos like this. Leave your comments down below. Any comments you may have. But yeah, I suppose as the I suppose the video title says, RANGNICK stays. So again, came out this morning, reading it on Twitter. RANGNICK is going to honour his contract with Manchester United and move into a consultancy role once Erik Ten Hag joins as manager. And I think this is just great news. I think, even in the last couple of weeks, he's shown snippets of I suppose what he's all about in his interviews. I think he's moving into an area that he is strongest at. I think his days of being a coach on the sideline, in a tracksuit, I think are numbered at the moment. And that's not to say I think he's done a bad job at Manchester United in terms of the coaching he's done. I just think the team and a vast majority of the players that Manchester United have at the moment are uncoachable. So yeah, he's moving upstairs as a consultant, and I suppose what I'm most happy about with this is the fact that he is heavily aligned in terms of his footballing vision. Pretty much the same as Erik Ten Hag is. So I think it's a positive step. Obviously both Erik Ten Hag and RANGNICK have similar philosophies. They want the same thing. And even RANGNICK coming out and saying that it's not as big a job, or it's not as complicated as it may seem to get Manchester United back on track, and that it doesn't have to take 3, 4, 5 years, and it can actually be done very quickly. But it is going to take everyone pulling in the same direction. I think if RANGNICK and Erik Ten Hag are given, I suppose, freedom of choice in terms of who they want to sign and the way they want to play, the direction they want to bring the club in. I think it's a very positive step for Manchester United. But moving on from that, it came out in the Mirror. Mirror had an article yesterday, the Sunday Mirror, that Ralph RANGNICK tells the United board that of 5 players in the current squad who are not good enough. And he has reportedly been asked to submit handover to Erik Ten Hag about the state of United and what they can expect from the squad. According to the Sunday Mirror, RANGNICK will not hold back in delivering his verdict and has already labelled 5 players as not good enough to play for the club. They claim the interim manager has labelled Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Phil Jones, Victor Lindelof and Anthony Martial as not fit for purpose. Strong stuff, very strong stuff. And to be honest, I'm not overly surprised. I think I suppose the most obvious thing once Erik Ten Hag was announced as manager, and I think it was nearly the players were the only ones. But in terms of looking at the performance against Liverpool, it was nearly the players were the only ones who didn't realise that, Rangnick was going to be given a fairly detailed description of each player to Erik ten Hag when he comes as manager. It doesn't come as a surprise to me. I'm surprised that players have been putting in these substandard performances, and with lack of enthusiasm, lack of energy, given the fact that it was always going to be obvious that Rangnick was going to be given a detailed description on each player to the new manager, whether it was going to be Ten Hag or Pochettino, whoever it was going to be. The fact that Rangnick was moving into a consultancy role made it pretty clear that he was basically gathering information at the moment on the current Manchester United squad, and he was going to pass on that information to the new manager when they came in. So I'm surprised we haven't seen I suppose an improvement in performance. Now look, I suppose they played relatively well. I'm not going to say they played relatively well against Arsenal. We still lost 3-1, but it was a relatively improved performance in comparison to the one against Liverpool a few days before. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the 5 players who were mentioned there, obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka sticks out like a sore thumb. He's not good enough for Manchester United. I think his work rate and his desire can't really be faltered, but he's just not good enough. Gives away the ball way too much. He has no link-up play. He can't cross the ball. He's like a jigsaw. He goes to pieces when he gets into the box. So I just I don't see a future for him there. Eric Bailly is a surprise. I'm surprised that Rangnick would come out and say he's not fit for purpose. I don't think he's good enough to be our centre back if we were to get back challenging for league titles again. But I mean, we only need to really compare him against Harry Maguire, who's been by far our worst defender this season. So I'm surprised with Bailly being there. Phil Jones, had all the heart in the world and all of the desire in the 2 games he's played this season. But it's time for Phil Jones to depart and try and salvage what's left of his career. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him leave this summer. Victor Lindelof is another one. Again, he hasn't been setting the world alight with his performances, but I'm surprised that he's on that list. Given the performances of certain other players that have been around him. Obviously we go back to Harry Maguire. I think Telles has been gradually getting worse throughout the season. Obviously Wan-Bissaka is on the list. Dalot hasn't been playing overly well either. So, and then obviously Anthony Martial. I've enough of Anthony Martial, to be honest. He's another one of these players that falls into the category of, he could be, a world-class player. He should be at this level. He should be at that level. But he's not. And the reason he's not is that he's not doing the business on the pitch. He hasn't really done it consistently for Manchester United since he signed. He had obviously a dream debut scoring that goal against Liverpool. But he's been hit and miss ever since. When he first signed for the club, he was being talked as the next Thierry Henry. Now, in my opinion, Thierry Henry is the greatest player ever to play in the Premier League, and Anthony Martial is not within an ass's roar of Thierry Henry. So I think it's time for him to go. Sevilla, I think, have found him out pretty quickly as well. He's been on the bench very often for Sevilla on loan, and they're not going to take up the option to buy on him. So it looks like he will be coming back in the summer, but I'd be surprised if we held on to him. But look, I mean, if Erik ten Hag comes in and he decides he wants Anthony Martial in his squad and he wants to work and try and improve with him, then I'll totally, back the manager's decision. And I think it's important that we do back the manager's decision. There's going to be things that we're not going to agree with, but I think it's important that we're all pulling in the one direction. Obviously, the manager, the players, and the fans. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Martial himself looks to leave. Um, yeah, on to I suppose some transfer news. Then, obviously, the main story that's been breaking at the moment would be that of Frankie De Jong at Barcelona, and potential links to Manchester United. Um, this story broke yesterday with a Spanish news outlet. I can't pronounce the name of it. I've been trying all day, but so I'm just going to not even try. But yeah, it came out in saying that Manchester United would be willing to offer Barcelona the signings of Alex Telles and Marcus Rashford to try and lower the price of Frankie De Jong, taking advantage of the fact that the Barcelona team is looking for a left back and a striker this summer. It would be an interesting option, but they know that they will have to add more money in the operation to try and reach an agreement. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't think this is going to happen. I can't see Frankie De Jong coming to Manchester United. I don't know why he would leave Barcelona. All reports seem to be suggesting that he's completely happy at the club, and that manager Xavi is happy with him and wants to keep him. Now, I do understand that Barcelona are, they're not in the healthiest of moments in terms of their financial standings, but you know, other reports have come out since this first one saying that an offer of 70 million or above, and Barcelona would listen to it in terms of selling Frankie De Jong. Look, I mean, again, like I said, I can't see this happening. And of course, Manchester United fans are going to be excited when we're being linked to someone like Frankie De Jong. He has obviously played under Erik ten Hag, and in the style of system that Erik ten Hag plays, in my opinion, he is by far the best option in terms of getting a centre midfielder. I would love for him to sign. I just don't think he will. But in saying that, I'm never going to say never. I'm just saying I won't believe it until he's holding up the Manchester United shirt in a press conference. I would be looking at potential. Obviously, look, we've been linked with a number of centre midfielders already. Obviously, Declan Rice being the first one. But again, David Moyes has come out and reiterated again today and yesterday that he's not for sale. The figure being floated around for Declan Rice, if West Ham are to sell, is 150 million. Again, I think that's quite high. I think you would be able to get him for cheaper, around 100 million. But if you were looking at Frankie De Jong for 60 million, I think you would easily get someone like Tchouaméni, who I think would be a fantastic signing as well. I think you could get both De Jong, if he was available, and Tchouaméni for less than the price of Declan Rice. So I think United need to be a lot smarter in the transfer window, especially if we're going to be having a large number of players leaving. We're going to have to bulk up the squad with more players. And I think the days of these marquee signings, the likes of, obviously Ronaldo we got on a free, but the likes of Pogba, these kind of signings where it's basically a PR short selling stunt. I think we have to move on from that now. If you could get the likes of De Jong and Tchouaméni for the same price as Declan Rice, it's a no-brainer. And obviously with high profile names like Pogba, Cavani, Lingard leaving in the summer, it's going to free up a lot of the wage bill as well. So but look, not ruling out Frankie De Jong, but I would be surprised if it does happen. Other transfer news would be, I suppose the next one, keeping it maybe within the same area, would be Eriksen to Manchester United, and reports have been coming out in the last couple of days of links I suppose strong enough links with Manchester United in the summer. Obviously, he does have a short-term contract with Brentford at the moment. It is expiring in the summer. Is it a good idea? I don't think it's a bad idea. I think Ericsson is a fantastic footballer. I think he's 30 years of age at the moment, so he's by no means past it. Um, Again, I think maybe he would be a smart signing for Manchester United in terms of bulking up the squad in the summer, especially in the centre midfield area. Obviously, we have Bruno Fernandes. Is more than likely. Well, look, we don't know with the new manager, but more than likely going to be the first choice in terms of our attacking option in midfield. You can pretty much guarantee that Donny van de Beek is going to be coming back for Manchester United next season, and obviously he's played under Eric Ten Hag before, so it looks like he will get a chance to prove himself once again. So adding the likes of Christian Eriksen, who you would get on free, and whose wages I think wouldn't be astronomical, I don't think it would be a bad signing. We do need signings of quality, like I said, and he is, a quality player, and he does have a lot of experience. So, yeah, I wouldn't be against the signing of it. But again, look, I mean, I think between now and the end of the summer, I think United are going to be linked with a lot of players. So it just, like I said, we'll take everything with a pinch of salt and take each signing as it comes. There was also an article today reading that Brandon Williams is looking to come back to Manchester United in the summer and fight for his place. Let me just pull up the article here. But yeah, he said Manchester United is where he wants to be, and he wants to challenge and get his place in the first team. Brandon Williams, I mean, you can't fault the kid for hunger and desire. Has he got the quality? It remains to be seen. I don't think he could do very much worse than what we have currently and the performances that have been put in our defence this year. So I wouldn't be against him coming back. I don't think he'll be a regular starter. I do think Luke Shaw will be number one choice left back next season. Obviously, you would hope he gets over his current injury. He's having bolts or screws removed from his leg, which he had put in when he broke them all them years ago. I think he will be first choice. Obviously, Alex Telles, while again he doesn't lack desire, I don't think really is up to standard. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to Brandon Williams there, I wouldn't be against him coming back. But I think he's going to have to improve. But again, look, I mean, Eric Ten Hag is known for improving young players, taking them under his wing and looking to improve, the whole squad in terms of quality. Obviously, look, Ten Hag has a huge job ahead of him, but I think maybe these younger players, the likes of Brandon Williams, if you're going to have the likes of James Garner coming back from Nottingham Forest, young Hannibal, Garnacho, these are the players that I suppose Van Gaal. I think these are the players that Eric Ten Hag can really leave an imprint on. These players are going to be coming back, no egos, hungry to learn, wanting to get into the first team, and will listen. So I don't think it's a bad thing. Obviously Eric Ten Hag will be given time to rebuild this squad over the next 2 or 3 years. So I think now maybe is the time to bring in these young players, bed them into the squad. They don't need to play every week. But I'd like to know what you think about that as well. I mean, if what young players you think might work or should be coming back into the Manchester United squad, let us know in the comments. But yeah, I mean, in relation to some other news, again, constantly updating this Frankie de Jong story. Barcelona, obviously if offers of around 70 million um, would be considered. Um, Also, only in the last few minutes that obviously Andreas Pereira is looking to leave Manchester United in the summer, and that his permanent move to Flamengo is obviously the first choice destination. However, football director John Murta has made Pereira aware that if for whatever reason that permanent move does break down, Eric Ten Hag is keen to have the midfielder back at the club in the summer. So interesting. I suppose story breaking there as well. Obviously, Andreas Pereira has had a number of chances with the first team squad with United and has never really proved his worth. Again, it goes back to what we're saying with Eric Ten Hag and how he likes to work with younger players, improve them, put his imprint on them. So that is going to be interesting to see. And let me just see here now. Have we got any other news? Again, if we're looking for a striker, I suppose there's been talks of Darwin Nunez, but Benfica have now come out and said that they will not enter talks for the forward for anything less than 130 million euro. Obviously, Manchester United can't spend that amount of money on one player this summer. It's just not feasible given the amount of signings that we do need to make, and striker being a priority. I'm worried about Darwin Nunez, to be honest, if he was to come to Manchester United. He has had a few injuries in the last 12 to 18 months. He is only 22 years of age, but it's something I would be keeping an eye on. Obviously, like we said, 130 million euro is not going to cut the mustard in terms of where United need to go and what they need to be spending on players. But I'd be interested to know what you think about that one. And finally, then obviously the story broke last week, but obviously it continues to rumble on with Ajax's centre back Timber, and I suppose stories breaking today are that Timber is emerging as one of the concrete names after Eric Ten Hag recommended him to Manchester United as they continue their search for a defender. To be honest, out of all of the current players being linked with Manchester United, I think this one is probably the most likely to happen. Manchester United are desperate for a centre back, and obviously, given the story we spoke about at the start of RANGNICK naming 5 players that are not fit for purpose at Manchester United, 4 of them were defenders, 3 of them were centre backs. So I think Manchester United are really going to go for Timber with Ajax. And I've been looking at his stats, and his stats do they do make for good reading. So I would be happy with him. I do think we're going to need another centre back. If we go into next season, if Eric Bailly leaves and Phil Jones leaves, and we go into next season with Maguire, Lindelof, Varane, and Timber, hopefully, I suppose we would get away with it. But if RANGNICK is to be believed in terms of who he thinks is not fit for purpose, Lindelof is on that list, and is he going to be there next season? Who knows? But I do think we need another centre back. But again, that remains to be seen. Have we got anything else here? Small rumblings being I suppose we'll finish up with this, but there has been small chatters going on about Eric Ten Hag and the fact that he is concerned with David De Gea and his suitability for the system that Eric Ten Hag plays. he has come out and, well, I suppose, well, not that he has come out and said that, but rumours are that Ten Hag obviously knows that there's more immediate issues within the club that he needs to deal with, but by the sounds of it, it looks like David De Gea would leave Manchester United. I suppose David De Gea would leave Manchester United before Erik Ten Hag. Let me put it that way. Erik Ten Hag, according to these reports, he doesn't see De Gea as suitable to play his system. Obviously, we all know what that means. It means he's not comfortable with the ball at his feet. And you look at the majority of modern goalkeepers in top clubs in Europe. Obviously the main two being in the Premier League, with Alisson at Liverpool and Manchester United, Manchester City's goalkeeper Ederson. They're both very comfortable at coming out and getting on the ball, and David De Gea just isn't. So it's an interesting story. Obviously, I don't think David De Gea is going to be going anywhere this summer, but long term, maybe 2-3 years down the line, once we have other areas secured and I suppose strengthened, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Ten Hag looks at changing his goalkeepers. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, obviously there's constant news breaking. We're going to be doing a watch along on Thursday night for Manchester United and Chelsea. So make sure you tune in for that. Also, you'll get, I suppose, snippets of clips on our TikTok page as well. So make sure you go over and follow us on TikTok also, and on Instagram, United Community Channel. Smash a like on the video as well if you'd like to see more of these, and make sure you put your comments in down below. Let me know what you think. And so thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.